All right, Dirty Sports episode 795. We are live on YouTube in 5, 4, 3. Welcome to the Dirty Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Andy Ruther, coming to you live from Cincinnati, Ohio, with my co-host from Los Angeles, California, Joey No Chill Prano.
Good morning, Andy.
Hello, hello, hello.
The fuck was that?
I don't know. Trying to mix things up a little. I'll jump right into this. I did speak with the one and only Michael Majid last night.
Oh, how's Majid doing?
And I'm going to put it out there now for him to put a little pressure. He recently was at Staples Center and had some nachos. I should say, what's it called now?
Crypto.com arena.
Crypto.com arena.
The crypt.
And apparently he got very sick from them.
Oh,
wow.
But
But he wants to do a review. I said, you got to do a review. This is your thing. A review of all the stadiums and all the arenas nachos. And then I want to see a review of how many actually make you sick, because I'd assume nachos from sports
sick
events.
Is such a loose term too. Like I just assume I'm getting diarrhea if I eat stadium nachos.
Yeah, right. I just assume, like, now I'm to the point in my life, even my own homemade nachos, we got some serious constipation issues the next day. Like, getting old sucks, man. So I told him we are going to want that. We're going to
need to see that. Thank you.
Yeah, we're going to need to see that. And in fact, anytime you get nachos ever again the rest of your life, we're going to need to see that. We're going to need to hear about that. So anyway, we got a lot going on in the sports world. We got final week of NFL season, and by sports world, I mean mostly NFL. Antonio Brown saga never ends. I just told you, guys, I don't know what else you want to hear about. You know, he's saying his side of the story. The Bucs are coming back. Now he's going after his former trainer, Alex Guerrero, Brady's infamous trainer. I just, guys.
And that's the thing. It's like, I don't really care to stay up with a story that has, like, it's over. He's done. He's out. He's a pain in the ass. He's been a pain in the ass. He is, the being with Brady and Brady's trainer and Bruce Arians, that there's 4 dipshits in that conversation.
Whoa. Calling Brady a dipshit?
Yeah, I am. The guy who's been caught cheating multiple times, and
how dare you?
What?
Call the GOAT a dipshit.
Listen, the GOAT legacy can be whatever it is. Like, Ray Lewis might be the GOAT middle linebacker of all time. Doesn't mean he wasn't involved in a double murder. Tom Brady tried to take the NFL to the Supreme Court to fight his "I cheated blatantly" case, sending text messages, getting guys fired, guys losing their job because they weren't willing to cover for Tom Brady's cheating. This whole thing. And now he's in an argument with Tom Brady's trainer that is supposedly the reason Tom Brady left New England, because Bill Belichick didn't want to work with this psycho trainer anymore. I said it before. I will say it again. I think that trainer is providing Tom Brady with the blood of young children, or maybe just the fresh bodies of young children for him to eat. Like, he's taking something from this weirdo trainer that he's so attached to, that's maybe not illegal yet, but will be illegal soon. This is a clusterfuck of people who have kind of proven themselves as disasters.
Yeah, but Brady's not. I fully disagree. Brady's not a disaster. There was the deflate gates. Like, he's got a clean career for the most part. Like, everybody.
What do you mean by clean career?
Like you're using the word disaster. I mean, Tom Brady, but like clean. I mean, he's. What else? What are
he's
the
never
big?
Been suspended for cheating.
I'm saying but even that,
But now we're talking about the Instagram messages.
No, I'm saying I don't want to talk about
what is Aaron Rodgers' trainer's name?
I don't know.
What's Russell Wilson's trainer's name?
I don't know, but they also
we all know Tom Brady's trainer's name.
Well, because that's part of his, that's the angle he's gone with his brand as far as from a business perspective. The TB method. That's his thing.
All I'm
that's
saying, everybody involved in this, now from the trainer to Brady to Arians to Antonio Brown, has a suspect history. Now, Antonio Brown's crazy. And we talked about last episode. Tom Brady's basically responsible for him being on the team.
And I said last episode it was worth it. I justify through his production that he has some serious issues, and I think he definitely needs some serious help. But again, my argument is like, dude, if you give me for that low salary, I think it was worth it. But he's gone. Let's move on. They obviously have the playoffs coming up. I don't really care what he's saying now. I don't care what Bruce Arians is saying back, or Jason Light, a.k.a. Jameis 1 of 1. I don't really care.
Yeah, we forgot the fifth disaster. Jameis 1 of 1 is involved in yet another scandal.
I do want to mention real quick, because it just crossed my mind.
It is going to be weird when the book Why Antonio Brown is Not a First Ballot Hall of Famer comes out. That's going to be weird.
I think it's funny you say that. He's a Hall of Famer for sure.
Yeah. Although, we're now in the point of Hall of Fame votings where people's personal lives stupidly matter. And, reporters are saying they're not going to vote for Aaron Rodgers for MVP because he's a jerk or whatever.
It's unbelievable. I called it, man. I tweeted that out like a month ago. I knew this was going to happen. Aaron Rodgers knew this was going to happen. There's no one who's more sensitive, pathetically sensitive. I don't mind if someone's sensitive. I'm very sensitive. Be sensitive at the right things. Don't be sensitive over a belief thing that you disagree with somebody. Fine. That's cool. We are all entitled to our own opinions, but to not vote for somebody.
And also, and I just did a Mets podcast yesterday, and I said this because we were talking about baseball Hall of Fame voters. It's called Till Mets Do Us Part, by the way. And it's out today if anybody wants to listen to my Mets takes. But we were talking about Hall of Fame voters. And what's so frustrating as a fan when you're like trying to watch what people are doing. It's like Terrell Owens didn't get in because he was mean to report. Like he didn't like treat the nerd reporters nice.
Yeah.
But yet on Monday night, we didn't hear one single thing about twice accused rapist Ben
Amen.
Roethlisberger.
Amen, dude. And I'm glad you brought that up, because I was thinking that, because the hypocrisy is so blatantly wild. And on top of that, they're just acting like it didn't Ben's in that cloth, and we've talked about this. He's Jesus guy now. I mean, if you've learned anything, Ray Lewis, it's out of the Ray Lewis playbook. These guys all do it. The minute you claim you found Jesus or whatever, it's like you're abstained, and all those things are washed clean from the past. But let me ask you this. So let me counter that, because I was thinking the same thing. What would you have liked? Because obviously you and I are both watching the Manning cast. I don't expect that to come from them because they're players and they're contemporaries. But what would you have liked from the main ESPN cast? What would you have liked from Levy, Greasy, and Riddick?
I mean, I don't even necessarily think I expect anything at this point, but it's just like, what do you, I'm not saying necessarily that every time that this guy steps on the field, it's got to be mentioned now, but how many, there was a 24-hour ESPN Kobe celebration after he died.
Sure.
We're not going to mix that in. We're not going to tell the whole story.
And the minute you do, you're an asshole. Ben
Roethlisberger, we're not going to talk about it when the conversation about whether or not he is a Hall of Famer comes up. And by the way, I'm not saying he shouldn't be a Hall of Famer because of it, But I'm saying, fuck you if you're going to talk about, and I have been critical of Aaron Rodgers and the vaccine nonsense, his stupidity. But if we're going to talk about that every time, if you're going to be out there talking about how Terrell Owens wasn't mean to you, so you didn't vote for him, how you're not going to vote for Aaron Rodgers because he's a jerk. When you do that, you're essentially saying, if you're a reporter that didn't vote for Terrell Owens, for example, you're essentially saying, in my eyes, it is a worse crime not to be nice to NFL beat reporters than it is to rape someone. That's essentially what you're saying. It is a worse crime that Aaron Rodgers reads Ayn Rand and listens to Joe Rogan than somebody being a rapist.
Well, and I started to say this earlier. When I was talking about sensitivity, I'm learning, or I've learned, there's nobody more sensitive than sports reporters, and
because they're nerds who got into sports reporting because they couldn't get into sports.
Yeah, and we've harped on the baseball writers at length concerning the Hall of Fame and the snubs of people like Barry Bonds or other people. They don't agree with their politics. It's like, dude, if you can't put that shit aside, you like, I know we live in this age, and that's a problem because people can't put politics aside to watch a musician or a comedian or a movie, which to me, in my opinion, is just as sad. But if you can't put that aside, I want to just read his quote. I mean, his quotes are hilarious. This reporter.
This is just cloud chasing too. This is no better or worse than the guy who, didn't vote for Jacob deGrom for Cy Young. It's just like, I'm going to be the one guy who says something. I want attention.
So he said, I just don't think you can be the biggest jerk in the league and punish your team and your organization and your fan base the way he did and be the most valuable player. Let me add some other things he said. I just think that the way he's carried himself is inappropriate. I think he's a bad guy, and I don't think a bad guy can be the most valuable guy at the same time. Who the fuck are you, dude? Who the fuck are you? Like, seriously. You think he's a bad guy? You don't have to agree with his opinions. Doesn't make him a bad guy. I don't agree with a lot of people's opinions. It does not make them bad people.
And I'll take it one step further. Maybe you think he's a bad guy. Maybe he is a bad guy. What does that have to do with the most valuable player in football?
Yeah.
Read anything about Michael Jordan. You guys gave him 6 MVPs.
True.
Lawrence Taylor was a fucking MVP. Ray Lewis was a Super Bowl MVP. Ben Roethlisberger was a Super Bowl MVP. Kobe Bryant won an MVP.
I don't think Ben won one. Did he ever win one?
He win a Super Bowl MVP? He had to win a Super Bowl MVP.
I think it was did Santonio, the first one he definitely didn't get, did he?
It was at Santonio and Hines Ward?
I think it was.
Or like Antoine Randall L or whoever it was.
I'm going to pull up his Wikipedia.
All the more reason. Eli over Ben.
Yeah, he never won an MVP.
Carried by receivers.
That game was awful, by the way. Absolutely
the
awful.
Seattle one?
That one, but that Monday night game, his farewell game.
Yeah.
Absolutely miserable. Luckily, you had the Manning cast, and we had a little fun with some of the guests. I did enjoy Roger Goodell not being able to name one Snoop Dogg song.
Yeah.
Like, dude.
Not only not being able to name one Snoop Dogg song, but how about just diving into head first into racism, where he's like, are there Snoop Dogg songs that don't have the N-word in it?
I couldn't believe he said, are there songs that don't? I'm going to play this because I posted on Dirty Sports. It's like cringeworthy old white guy.
Yeah.
Peyton, and you knew he did not like this question because Peyton Manning asks him his favorite Snoop Dogg songs, and Snoop's performing at the halftime of the Super Bowl. Listen to Roger Goodell's reaction.
And the question on my mind and everybody's mind is, what is your favorite Snoop Dogg song? Listen, we're excited.
Hold on. It's we're excited. Like so I'm keeping track. We're 3 seconds in now. He hasn't answered.
About having our halftime show with Snoop in there, and we got some great performers. I don't think I could tell you a single title without violating your rules on using language on air. So I think I'm going to have to pass on that one.
What?
Yeah.
What are you talking about? Dude, you can't violate the FCC. That's just not true. Why is no one talking about like
honestly, is there even a Snoop Dogg song that would violate? Is there a single Snoop Dogg title song wise that would violate FCC rules? I bet you if you go to the top songs on Apple Music or Spotify, I could read all of them.
Well, I'm going to his first album because that would be, I'd assume, the most hardcore as far as titles.
I'm just going. I mean, in terms of if you go to top Snoop Dogg songs, nothing but a G thing. You can say that. Young, Wild, and Free with Wiz Khalifa. Still Dre. Gin and Juice.
Gin and Juice, yeah.
Drop It Like It's Hot. Who Am I? That's some of the most racist shit anybody's ever said.
I was thinking, I was like, God, you come across like such old white guy, like, oh, the young black rapper and his swear words. And then I don't play that, but I think Eli followed it up with like, what? No, you can say a song.
You could even say the shiznit if you wanted.
I was just looking at that. How's that going to be, by the way? So you have Snoop,
it's
Eminem,
going to be awful.
Dre. I assume this is, how Jay-Z works in the NFL now. I assume this is his doing. But what are they going to be able to say?
They're going to be able to say, it's just going to be radio edits, bro.
There's nothing
arena,
worse.
Like stadium hip hop.
Is there anything worse?
Rapping over tracks.
Is there anything worse than rap radio edits? Like I was running the other day on a workout play mix and I accidentally, I wasn't paying attention. One of the songs was like the radio. I was like, what the fuck is this? You're not saying the swear words? Like
you're like, what the is this? This is simple.
It ruined my whole run. I don't want to listen to this.
How am I supposed to run to this?
It's unbelievable. Do you think Aaron Rodgers still gets the MVP? I mean, like, how many of these guys are out there?
I think he gets the MVP. Who else? Like, who else do you give it to? I mean, Tom Brady obviously had the performance on Sunday. Like, who else is in the mix right now?
It's the mix would be Brady, Jonathan Taylor, and Cooper Kupp.
That's the four: Rodgers, Brady, Cooper Kupp, Taylor.
Well, why don't I actually just pop into the actual odds?
I think he gets it. I don't know how you don't get it. I mean, look at what happened. I mean, I think Aaron Rodgers is an asshole, but he's got my vote.
Look,
I'm not a douche.
Let me see here. Sorry, taking me a second. Yeah, it goes Rodgers minus 400, Brady plus 550, Jonathan Taylor plus 1400. Oh my goodness. Guess who crept in there? Joe Burrow.
There's your boy, Joey B.
Off 3 good games. Interesting. The savior for the city of Cincinnati. If they win a playoff game, will they dump chili on Joe Burrow?
They should.
Cold chili?
Why not like lukewarm chili? I'm assuming it's not served scalding hot.
Yeah, so you don't want to burn the guy. So The Washington football team announced that they will have a new name on February 2nd.
But they did not announce what that is, correct?
Correct.
It's going to be horrible.
It's so funny that everyone, it's like divert. Let's not talk about the emails. Divert. Our new name. Let's not talk about all the awful things our organization has done. Let's not talk about the post that fell or the railing that fell. I don't know if you know, there's an update. It's been zip tied. That's how they fixed it. They zip tied it.
They just don't have a welder on the entire staff there.
Apparently. Not a single guy who can handle that. What a dumpster fire organization.
And now I guarantee you it's a military shit. I'll bet anything. It's the admirals, the commanders, the generals.
I bet it's the Red Wolves.
You think so? And somehow that's even worse. The Red Wolves? Have you ever been to DC? I've been to DC a lot of times. Never seen a Red Wolf once.
Yeah, I've been to DC. Yeah, but I've never seen a Bengal tiger walking around the streets of Cincinnati.
Well, I know, but I'm saying this was a thing. This was a trend for so long, but now, like, we've all grown up. Let's be better.
What do you want to call them?
Well, first of all, I'm fine with the Washington football team, but like, at least the Hogs, they have a history. The Red Wolves, I hate it when they do that shit. It's the Orange Men. Now we're just the Orange. We're the Red Men. We're the Red Storm. We're the Redskins. We're the Red Wolves. Yes. So fucking stupid.
Well, maybe that name, I didn't read too closely. Let me look it up. I think there was names that did have copyright issues. And I think that could be an issue. Maybe Red Wolves is not an option. I bet it's going to be Admirals. They should call themselves the Washington Emails. Just like a giant email template is their logo, and it's blank because we don't know what's in any of those emails. 600,000 emails. We don't have a clue, but we know John Gruden said some racist shit. That's all we know. John Gruden said some racist shit. That's it. That's all we got. 600,000 emails. It should be like an email. It's just, when they redact stuff and just have like lines through it.
Yeah. The radio edits.
Yeah. When they release like classified stuff, it should just be the Washington emails and a giant line, a red line or black line is through it.
The Washington redacteds. You keep the RE still, the RED.
Yeah, there you go.
Guys could just change their shirts.
So there's rumors that Jim Harbaugh might want to return to the NFL. Are we on a yay or nay on this?
I don't know. I guess I'm kind of on a yay just because he did have success.
44, 19, and 1. He did really well.
Yeah. Yeah. I'd be a yay for that. I mean, I'm not like, obviously I'm not a huge fan of the college to NFL jump, but he's already been there, done that. Did going back to college change his like ability to, I don't think so. I think Jim Harbaugh means his brother's obviously been doing it for a long time. Pretty well respected, successful. I'd be for it.
I'd like to see it, to be honest. I'd like to see how he do again in the NFL. Obviously, it took him a while to become successful at Michigan, and then they got their butts kicked this year. But he made some gutsy moves when he was a coach. You can't forget that. Like, he made the decision to switch quarterbacks from Smith to Kaepernick. That was a gutsy move. They went to the Super Bowl. They lost a very close Super Bowl. My point is, like, he made some ballsy moves that worked out. His players seem to like him. I know he's kind of a hard ass, but I think he's lightened up in that maybe.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I think I would call him a player's coach. You know, he obviously played in the NFL himself for a bunch of years. I'd like to see it.
I'd be into it. I mean, my team's obviously semi in the market for a new coach. I'd be okay with that.
Yeah. And now's the time because he actually.
Although I'm not sure the Mariners would go for it because, you know, he does have a link to Colin Kaepernick. And John Mara just got so many letters about Colin Kaepernick.
Did he?
That was the thing. That was like early on in the Kaepernick thing. I don't know if you remember, but obviously there was like an NFL PR like move. Like, let's have all our known owners, all these like big guys, like put out like random stories no one asked for about how so many people reached out and said, we could never have a guy like that on our team. It was the beginning of what was essentially the collusion campaign. We need to start leaking a little bit here and there that like your fans would hate this.
Well, now would be the time because he took a huge pay cut, actually. So, like, you know, a lot of college coaches, why would you leave? You make less money for the most part in the NFL, but his base salary had dropped from $8 million to $4 million. So, I mean, I'd like it. Heck, man, you know my feelings in the Cincinnati Bengals. You get Harbaugh. They're winning the Super Bowl. Mark my words. You get that Zach Taylor guy out of there. You get a proven NFL coach. I'll drop all my bets. Say no way. Nothing. You're just gonna look at me?
I don't know. I mean, I think the Jim Harbaugh, I should say John Harbaugh and Mike Tomlin are pretty proven NFL head coaches. They're cleaning up after the Zach Taylor Cincinnati Bengals celebration parade.
Well, you do bring up a point.
Some of them getting blown out by him this year.
Sure. Again, coaching had nothing to do with it, but hey, we can agree to disagree there. Tomlin has never had a losing season. Like, what do you do at this point? 16 years and never had a losing season. It's really tough to fire a guy with that track record.
Also, why would you fire him now? Of all the times you're firing him now, you made him. He still had Rosberg. Like, move on from the quarterback situation, and I would let's see how he does after that, and then how does he do next year with a new guy? Does he still not have a losing season?
Yeah, I mean, I've heard this is a weaker class. We'll see. They say it's a weaker class for quarterback.
To me, it seems crazy that they don't go after the kid from Pitt and just like make it a thing.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I mean, obviously they like they're at that point where you see it from every organization. What do you do when you're stuck with the same guy for this long? And they shouldn't. They kept that relationship too long this year. They shouldn't have. You know, the whole thing with Ben playing this year. It's just such bad football. Such bad football. And that was tough for me to watch. I'm not gonna lie. That's slurp fest. It was so tough for me to watch. With his past. And it's fine. It's fine. But people, they just don't care.
But then let's just be that way. Let's
I
just
agree.
be that way in sports. Be like, we don't report things from off the field, and we focus on the sports and whatever. Then Terrell Owens should have been handed a golden jacket as he walked off this last game.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. The fact that Terrell Owens had to wait that long was
but also the fact that every sports outlet talks about all this stuff all the time. Cool. Antonio Brown left. There's a mutual parting of ways. The end. No, but did you see this? Did you see that? It's like, oh, well, if we're going to dive in and Adam Schefter is going to report every time somebody does anything of note, then like, why are we pretending like that shit didn't happen?
Yeah. No, for sure. You mentioned.
I mean, and it's always like the weirdest thing. I mean, you can go out there and find stories about, LeBron James interaction with a fan, or like the conspiracy theory that LeBron like spray painted the N-word on his own house, but no one's going to talk about whether or not Kobe Bryant was a rapist anymore. We're just not going to talk about it anymore.
And not only that, you are vilified. Dude, you're vilified if you mention that stuff. I was debating. I had a few Ben Diggs, and I was like, I just don't want to deal with it. I don't even want to deal with it. I'm not tweeting this out. I don't want to deal with it. I don't want to deal with it.
40-year-old Ruther, 40-year-old Ruth, 32-year-old Ruther would have been like, bring it, bring the action.
I just didn't want to deal with it. You're right. I'm old, man. Look at all these grays in my beard. I'm old. I need my sleep. I'm almost as old as the invention of Miller Lite, Joe Prano. I believe that was created in 1975.
Wow. Nice segue.
Hey, man, I've been doing this for a minute. The original light beer. Always been the best tasting light beer for people who love beer. And I know you have been a staunch supporter, and we got to give you credit. Way before we even adopted this fine relationship with our friends at Miller Lite, you have been the number one advocate of the original light beer.
I mean, you said the best light beer, the best tasting light beer. I'd argue it's still the one and only light beer. I would argue that light beer is not a thing except for Miller Lite. Miller Lite invented something, and for me, it's the perfect beer for sitting around on a football Sunday, drinking a bunch of them while you watch games. And then everybody else was panicked. I'm not going to name names, but everybody else was just like, well, we have a beer and their light beer is so good. Let's just water down our beer and call it our light beer. It's like, it's not the same. It's not the same. Miller Lite, the one and only, the original, the GOAT, the greatest. It was so wonderful this past weekend in Arizona. I knew dirt balls were in the house when I started seeing buckets of Miller Lite get sent out from the bar. Love it. Honestly, it's kind of the best part of our partnership with Miller Lite, when I just see our fans enjoying it.
And the tweets.
We've told them to.
Yeah. Love all the tweets, guys. When you tweet at us, when you're drinking a Miller Lite or watching a game or having a cookout. Miller Lite, great taste, 96 calories. Go to MillerLite.com/dirty sports to find delivery options near you. Or you can pick up Miller Lite pretty much anywhere they sell beer. It's Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, 96 calories and 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces. So we've talked a lot about the reporters, Joe. So I might as well just throw this in. Ken Rosenthal is out at the MLB Network because of criticism that he's had about Rob Manfred.
Major League Baseball. I'm not a hockey guy. I know hockey fans hate Gary Bettman. Major League Baseball, by far, in my opinion, at least of the sports that I watch, the most horribly run. And it's horribly run. I mean, we're getting, it's almost the same conversation again. It's like, you guys make ridiculous decisions. You put the game in a position where it's always fighting for its life because you can't post clips on social media, and you make rule changes to try to speed up the game that doesn't need to be sped up, but instead ruins the game. You have horrible negotiations with your players that just about every 4 years now end in some sort of lockout. You let the game fall apart under Bud Selig, and then you hand it over to a Bud Selig hand-picked replacement. And they treat it like they're a dictator. So now you're not allowed to talk about how bad? There's no baseball. You're not allowed to criticize the commissioner?
Yeah, and obviously they own the MLB network, and he'll still be on Fox, and he'll still be on The Athletic where he writes. But it's just not. It's basically saying you can't contest me. You can't challenge me. I don't want any challengers. And that's just not a good look. The optics of that are bad. You should have people challenging
and baseball's dying.
Oh, it's dying, dude. It's
and
so
the two
dead.
guys that have been in charge were essentially one entity for the last 30 years. And they've run baseball into the ground, but no one's allowed to talk about it.
Yeah, it is the weird.
And that's why reporters are the worst, because they all do this stuff when they all play ball. They all go like, well, you can't be that critical because then I might. They're so afraid to put their credentials on the line by criticizing. Rob Manfred and Roger Goodell and all these people deserve so much more criticism, even than a guy like Antonio Brown or Aaron Rodgers or Terrell Owens or Barry Bonds. You guys don't like Barry Bonds because he wasn't nice to you? But it's obviously not a steroids thing, right? It's not a steroids thing because you voted Bud Selig into the Hall of Fame. Bud Selig is the single person responsible for steroids in baseball. The single person. And you voted him in, but you're not going to vote Barry Bonds in. So so by process of fucking, whatever, you have proven it's not about steroids. So now it's about Barry Bonds is a jerk to you. All these reporters are just such sniveling, conniving snakes in the grass.
Well, I'd take it one step further. I would say reporters in general now, beyond just sports. I think we live in an age where they don't want to challenge anybody. They'd rather be friends with a politician. They don't want to challenge them or challenge any of the establishment that we have, which would be a Roger Goodell type figure. I just think that's the thing is I feel like, I don't know. Am I right? I feel like growing up, it was different. And even back in the day, like it was different. And you wanted to challenge the status quo, so to speak. And I feel like now these people, they just want to be cronies with everybody. I mean, Adam Schefter's a prime example, but like you said, you're basically a shill for the NFL. And when he's like my thing is, like, when you look at the Antonio Brown stuff, that the NFL wants that. They want people to be like, this guy's crazy, this guy's a lunatic. They don't want any of the onus to be on the Bucs, where I feel there's
Arians or Brady.
Yeah, it's somewhere in the middle. There's multiple parties that are culpable, and it's not all on Antonio Brown. I feel like he's got his issues, but so do a lot of teams. And so do a lot
and he
of
has
coaches.
his issues because he has CTE, because you guys pretended the concussions weren't a thing, and then he wanted a helmet, and you guys said no, and then blah blah blah. It's like,
yeah, no, 100%. Let's get to some calls, then we'll wrap up the show with our picks. Let's get to some calls. 310-359-8365. And we have a few that have been sitting here for a while. Let's go back to this one. I know we're a little past Christmas, but this was a Christmas question, because I'm curious what your response will be.
What's up, Dirty Sports? It's your number one former Penn State DirtBall, KT. I've got a question for you boys from the last episode when Prano was saying how his sister or someone in his family got a drill bit, like attachment, when they actually got gifted a car. It was actually vice versa, but your brother got that, whatever. So I just want to ask you guys, what's the most bizarre gift that you guys have ever received? And, like, what was your reaction? Because this past Christmas, I spent Christmas with my girlfriend's family, and their 90-year-old grandparents gave me one gift. I opened it up, and it was an Adele CD. I was like, what? My girlfriend was like, say thank you. So, yeah, I want to hear from you guys. Like, what's the most crazy gift that you've ever received or witnessed? Condoms are for Penn Staters who go up to you and say, we are. Fuck you guys. You're corny as hell, and Joe Pa knew. Stay dirty, boys.
Wow.
Shots fired.
Guy who can be critical of his own alma mater.
So
I can tell you for a fact that that's a great example of music gifts always go wrong. Like the parents always like to go like,
did he get a seed, like an actual CD?
Right.
Like there's two elements to this. One, it's the Adele thing. Two, it's these poor old people thinking that we have CD players now.
Yeah. I remember at one point, I mean, I would buy music all the time. So my mom went and got music, got me a CD. And of course, she just goes to the store and it's like, what's hot? You know, not wondering at all what my musical tastes are.
It was a Creed CD.
It was a Billy Ray Cyrus, Achy Breaky Heart CD. And I was just like, how does that even happen?
Little did they know later on.
I would turn into a devout follower of his dog.
Miley.
Yeah.
Miley, yes.
Super Miley stan. Is that where it started? Did it start with my Billy Ray Cyrus Achy Breaky Heart CD?
I think we figured it out. I've said this multiple times in the show. I was in the 4th or 5th grade. My aunt gave me a $10 gift card to Staples.
Nice.
I was embarrassed. I was embarrassed for her, the whole Ruther family, the extended Ruther family who does a Christmas every year. It was so awkward and uncomfortable to open that in front of everybody. And she was so clueless. And my brother still laughs about this day because my uncle just roasted her. What the hell is the kid supposed to get? A 10-foot eraser? Like, what are you doing? Like, he's a
half a printer cartridge.
Yeah, he's a 10 or 11-year-old kid. That was pretty bad. I'm trying to think. I remember some gifts we'd give my mom. You know how like a mom would be like, when you're young kids too, my mom would be like, oh, I need this or I need that. And you're like 10 or 11, you don't have any money, but it was a big deal to get it. I remember my mom, and we still have it. I still have it in my parents' house. My mom needed a napkin holder. And one of my brothers gave it and he was so embarrassed, but she wanted it.
I don't know what, like a rack for like
just
the
something
table?
to put the napkins in. And I think my brother, one of my older brothers, I think it was Greg. I think he cried. He was so embarrassed. And my dad was just like, just get it to her.
It's hilarious.
Like, did you get anything off? Like, I'm trying to think like grandparent stuff that was bad.
I don't remember. I mean, over the years, I mean, the fashion, like, oh, I got you this. I got you like I'm 15 and they're giving you like the Looney Tunes t-shirt and you're like, yeah. Why wouldn't I want the Tasmanian devil dressed as a gangster rapper?
Hey man, there's certain pockets of the country that still rock those with pride.
Yeah.
I noticed that at Kings Island. Kings Island gets some interesting cats. I noticed the Looney Tunes shirts this summer. Yeah. We're still repping, still being rocked. Yeah, I'm trying. Like, I don't think I've gotten anything like insanely bad, or I just can't remember. Maybe. I don't know. It's a good question though. All right, conspiracy theory time.
Okay. I love a good conspiracy theory.
The NFL and the CDC. Listen to this.
Hey boys, Brandon Pink here. It's been a while since I called, but I have a couple thoughts that I want to share with you. Not so much a question, but some thoughts. First off, Andy is probably the only person that owns season tickets for a team, not attend the home game, but see that team on the road. So I thought that was interesting. And also, secondly, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I do have a conspiracy theory. Out of nowhere on Tuesday, the CDC changed their guidelines for isolation from COVID from 10 days to 5 days. And I truly believe that it is purely because of the NFL. It makes sense if you think about it, though, because there's 31 billionaires and then obviously the Packers, but they say the numbers are on the rise, and then 3 weeks before the playoffs it changes. And now, if a player tests positive, they don't have to test for another 90 days, which would put us past the Super Bowl. I know that it's a little far-fetched, but honestly, the NFL's so corrupt, I can see it happen. Stay dirty, boys.
Wow. The CDC, the NFL, both gone to 5-day quarantines after testing positive. Are they in cahoots? Dun, 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 dun.
I mean, I don't hate it. I don't hate that as a conspiracy theory. I also saw it. I'm trying to find the thing now that was basically like, it was basically saying, let me see if I can find it. There was another thing that basically said at this point, if we did like another extended lockdown, like if we did a 2-week lockdown, that like we would cripple the economy to the point where we couldn't save it unless we did another $1 trillion pump or whatever, which obviously no one wants to do. So the theory was, because so many people are getting COVID right now, it could easily get to the point where, like, not even on a lockdown situation, but on a
Quarantine.
so many people have it and so many people are quarantining for 10 days simultaneously that we could essentially have to cripple the economy to the point where we would have to do another sort of bailout situation. And so that the idea was, so the CDC just on the fly also just changed it to like 5 days. But I don't hate that there's for the NFL too. I mean, guys are testing positive now on Tuesday and still playing on Sunday.
Well, also, this is a very weak variant from what they say. I never thought about what he said to start the call, that I had season tickets, didn't see a single home game, and saw them on the road.
Yeah. Now, are you running back your tickets next year?
I got to call him. That's on my to-do list. TBD.
Did you profit?
I did.
Okay. Seems like a no-brainer.
They're not going up much. They're going up $200. One last home game. I got 9 home games this year. But the good thing is the Chargers always face the Raiders, Chiefs, and Broncos. And those are always going to be like decent, especially the Raiders and Chiefs.
Yeah.
Like those are going to be high selling games.
I'd argue the Broncos, and there's a lot of Broncos fans in LA.
Yeah. No, for sure. Okay. You put the call out for people to call about the college football situation. We only got one.
Surprising. I would have guessed that our fan base was big in college football. Unless I've really done my.
I knew they'd fallen off, or they just don't want to get destroyed by our response. So Stripper Bryson, he's always the college football guy. This was his response to what we said about the college football playoff system.
What's up, Joe and Andy? Stripper DirtBall here, Bryson calling from Atlanta this time. Obviously, I am a college football fan. I'm actually giving a different take on this college football thing. Wanted to give y'all's opinion or just my thought on how I think we can fix it. Probably won't happen, but so as you can see, Alabama and Georgia just absolutely demolished number 3 and number 4 in the country. So my thought process is, why even expand the playoffs? Clearly, these top 2-3 teams are just so much better than the rest. What is a 16-team playoff going to do? I don't really know, but just more blowouts, like you're already saying. And as you said, like the 5-star differences between Alabama and Georgia and the teams are playing is absurd. So why don't we throw a cap on it like we do the NFL or anything with the salary cap? Why don't we cap how many 5-stars each team can sign? That way these kids are going to their respective schools in their state. Instead of a 5-star from Texas, all 5 of them going to Georgia. Well, fuck, why don't you make it only X amount of 5? The only way you're going to get this talent dispersed throughout the country where these games are more watchable, and then we can expand the playoffs. So let's start with a salary cap. X amount of 4 and 5 stars per team, then you're done. Like, you have to limit who you can recruit. Once you get 4 or 5 stars, you're done. Just limit it that way. And I think you'll see more competitive games. Obviously, won't happen because of money, but that would be my way of fixing it. Stay dirty.
Well, so two things there. First of all, I think what a 16-team playoff does, again, is doesn't give you a month off to get healthy and prepare.
Yeah, exactly. To me, that's number one.
So now you're playing a top 16 team at the end of the year, and then potentially another one, a top 8 team, a top 4 team, whatever, in a row.
To put it in perspective, I was talking with some people yesterday about this. We were talking in particular about Bama versus Cincinnati. We were saying Bama's coming off that huge win against Georgia. Cincinnati's coming off destroying Houston, who was good this year, right? The argument is both teams have crazy momentum. Imagine if they had 1 week to prepare for each other, just like the NFL.
Right.
I think it changes a lot when you have 1 week to prepare for an opponent
and to get healthy. Who's not going to get healthy with a month off? Yeah. And then also, going from, obviously you probably don't have to have all the, I mean, in my system, you don't need a fucking SEC championship game. But let's say you do have it. Like, now you're getting up for that game, and then the next week you're getting up for a playoff game. I mean, we see this all the time in college basketball. You see these guys grind through the Big East tournament or the ACC tournament or whatever.
Get a 1 seed.
Yeah.
And then they lose second game.
Or through the years, I mean, look at like the Syracuses of the world who find themselves in the ACC championship and ACC tournament and then go on a little run.
Yeah.
It's like, it changes everything that you're just playing these games in a row. The other thing is, when it comes to like the 5-star recruit question, like, there's no governing body for 5-star recruits. Like, the NCAA is not 5-star, like listing guys as 5-star. This is all a very like made up thing. Like, by whose standards? Like, I would bet ESPN, when they say this guy, this many 5 stars, are they even using the same scouting service or the same whatever? Now we just create a new system where college coaches are scheming and scamming even more, where their booster friend who runs blue chip recruiters is not qualifying this quarterback as 5-star because they actually like him. So then they can go get a 4-star. It's like, that just seems like it's going to create more fucking backdoor nonsense.
You can't do that. Yeah. I think the playoff situation, so the NFL was 12 teams, just went to 14. It seemed it's worked out really well for them with, like you said, upsets, with momentum, the whole debate about sitting guys. Do you lose momentum? Is it better to play guys? All that. But
also, and I always go back to this, every other level of college football has a 16-team playoff.
Sure. So to me, that's the end argument, because this notion that the kids in the smaller divisions can do it and can keep playing and can keep going
when
to
they're
school.
riding buses and they're,
and they don't have the facilities or the financial backing. So, it only makes sense. Well, the College Football Championship is here on Monday, Joe, and to celebrate, FanDuel Sportsbook is hooking up new customers with 30-1 enhanced odds on either team to win. So that means if you bet $5 to win $150 on either team to win it all. Now, right now, looking at FanDuel, the favorite is surprising to me. Georgia is a 3-point favorite. Do you like this or dislike this?
I mean, I don't really have a strong opinion, but I would go with dislike.
Okay. Yeah. I Nick Saban, until he loses, he always beats the guys who coached under him. Until he starts losing, I got to go with Bama as well. Well, DirtBalls, just sign up for FanDuel Sportsbook using promo code DIRTY and make a deposit to claim your 30-1 enhanced odds. There's no better place to bet the College Football Championship than on America's #1 sportsbook. It's a simple and easy to use app with great new offers every day. And when you win, FanDuel will pay for your winnings in as little as 2 hours. If you already have FanDuel Sportsbook, FanDuel is hooking up all customers with $50 when they refer a friend, plus your friend will get $50 too. So don't miss your chance to win $150 off a $5 bet on the college football championship. Download the FanDuel Sportsbook app or head to sportsbook.fanduel.com and sign up using promo code DIRTY, DIRTY, to get 30-1 odds on either team to win. You must be 21 and present in Arizona, Colorado, Connecticut, Iowa, Illinois, Indiana, Minnesota, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, Virginia, or West Virginia. New users only. $10 first deposit required. Must wager in designated offer market. Max bonus of $150. Bonus for Tennessee users is fulfilled in site credit within 72 hours and expires 14 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See full terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. And if you have any gambling problems, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit fanduel.com/ these are all the different states, RG or /COIA/MINJ/PAILVA, or call 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT STEP to 53342. This is in Arizona, 888-789-7777, or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut. 1-800-9-WITH-IT in Indiana, or the Tennessee Red Line, 1-800-889-9789 in Tennessee, or visit 1800gambler.net in West Virginia. Did that read take longer than the game's going to take?
Yeah. I think Alabama's going to win because they had that entire ad read to rest.
I think you're right. I think that's a good point. Well, I think this is part of the deal. Let's just address it. I think that's part of the deal with the legalized gambling is those things all must be read.
Dude, you know what's crazy? Speaking about legalized sports gambling, we don't have it yet here in California, and God willing, we will have it one day very, very soon. But I was on Twitter for my weekend in Arizona, and no lie, Andy, every fourth tweet was a promoted tweet from one of those companies. I'm not joking. I mean, I ended up, it was like, Barstool, whatever, FanDuel, whatever. Like, I mean,
sure.
The places where they have that, I guess if you're like following sports accounts or whatever, they're going hard. I was just like, this is too much.
Yeah. Well, so they just passed it in Ohio. So it'll be, it takes like a year to get up and running. So, but Indiana's had it. So I mean, I've been able to, if I can go to sports books casinos 25 minutes away.
Yeah.
Just on the border. But yeah, dude, it's, I mean, we see it
25 minutes from the Indiana border.
Yeah, as well. Yeah. I'm right there, man. That Ohio River, the way it winds, breaking up the states. I will say, I'm not going to name the brand. I do enjoy the JB Smooth commercials. Huge. I'm a huge JB Smooth guy. Just huge. And then pairing him with the Mannings, I think
I love
great.
That you refuse to call him JB Smooth with a V. I like that you just give him the JB Smooth.
I always do. So that's how I roll. You want to handle two more calls?
Sure.
Oh, these are two good ones. These are, let's do two. I'm curious what you're going to say for this one.
Hey, John from Salt Lake City here. McDale, hit me up. Question for you guys is, what is your favorite long song I can't remember if you guys have done this before or not, but for me, I'm a classic rock fan, so Foreplay a Long Time by Boston. First put on my iPod 15 years ago. Roundabout by Yes is up there. Just listen to Rapper's Delight. Obviously a classic, somewhat more recent. But just wondering, like, what do you guys just, chill and ride to? That's it. Times are for Paul Mercurio. Stay there.
Whoa.
Throwback.
Damn. It's a good question. Your favorite long song. So one of my favorite, November Rain. I mean, that's a great.
That was on my list for sure.
Stairway to Heaven.
Yeah. Scenes from an Italian Restaurant.
Don't play it.
No, not.
Okay.
Was that my phone playing or your phone playing?
It wasn't mine.
Billy Joel, Scenes from an Italian Restaurant. I used to have a joke about this, actually. I used to have a joke about long songs. American Pie. It was, you go to the strip club and they're always like, your lap dance last 3 songs. I was like, can I pick the songs? I'd like November Rain, Scenes from an Italian Restaurant, and American Pie.
You get her entire shift. She's giving you a lap dance for 45 minutes.
Because it's always like,
that is a funny joke.
It's always like, premise. Turn down for what? And then and then like 3 seconds later, you're like, wait, that wasn't even that whole song.
Yeah, you're right. I used to like Hey Jude a lot more, but as I've gotten older, I'm just like, And I'm like number one Beatles stan over here, but I'm just like, dude,
I think I'm going like my favorite long song of all time. I think I'm just going American Pie. I know that's kind of like almost like cliche classic at this point.
I think mine's
what a fucking song.
Yeah, I think mine's November Rain.
I mean, that guitar part in the middle where Slash in the video is just like outside the desert church.
Oh, yeah.
So good.
I remember having so many discussions with my brothers when that video came out. Like, I don't get what's happening. He's getting married and suddenly he's at the funeral. Like, what happened? What happened to her?
Stephanie Seymour's kids went to the school I went to. They were probably, I don't know, 5-6 years below me. So like you'd catch her every once in a while is walking the halls of like an all boys school. Guys just losing their minds.
The other guys were like,
guys just like throwing folders over their pants and like running to the bathroom.
I mean, supermodel. I said this on the show. I saw her a few years ago. She married like a billionaire.
Yeah.
So she's big into horse racing now. That's the ultimate like fuck you money sport. The whole like, is there anything that compares?
The sport of kings, they call it, Andy.
Yeah, there's nothing that compares to that. I'm just gonna funnel millions of dollars into this horse. Like the care, and I told you, like, I've gone out of Lexington with my brother. The care they give these horses.
Oh yeah,
that's why I always joke of like Pete. PETA gets all mad. I'm like, no, dude, these horses are treated better than anything I've ever been given my whole life. Okay,
yeah,
one
but
more.
Then also, if they get hurt, they shoot them on the court.
True, it's a good point. It's a good point.
Track.
Okay, we'll do one more call.
What's going on, boys? Colonoscopy calling back once again from beautiful Toms River, New Jersey, home of the 1998 Little League World Series champions. I finally got an Apple TV login, and I've been binging Ted Lasso. About 6 episodes in, straight through, and wow, this show is awesome. I know Prano's a big fan, but we need more sports TV shows. Now, I know that there's probably some more. I never watched the one with that dude who lied about being in 9/11 or whatever. But we need some more. I want to see a Slapshot TV series, Semi-Pro. Oh, yeah, there was that football one too, right? I've had a couple Miller Lights tonight. Actually, I guess is Friday Night Lights worth watching? I don't know. For the call. Need more sports TV shows. Sudeikis is tremendous. Everyone in the show is so good. Yeah. What sports and what, kind of storylines would you like to see as the next Ted Lasso? Football is live. Football is live. Football is live.
Well, we have the Lakers one coming out, which we've talked about.
Yeah.
I look, I thought Ted Lasso, I've been struggling on season 2.
Really?
Maybe it's because I watch it when I hop on the treadmill.
I actually struggled. I think I struggled the most with the early part of season 1 because I just felt like it wasn't that deep. And especially his character wasn't that deep. But as the show built out and they really get into the layers for everybody, that's when I thought it became a tremendous show. And I think I almost think season 2 of Ted Lasso makes season 1 better because you start to see, they were setting up for a lot of this stuff.
Sure.
I think it's great. I mean, I always think, the tough part about sports shows is there's always the licensing and whatever. And you hate, I don't want to watch a show that's supposedly about the NFL, but it's not the NFL and it's the Sharks versus the Bobcats. And you're like, okay, cool. I don't give a shit. So to me, an obvious one, and I know there's been tons of, pop culture and movies, TV shows, stories, whatever, but like minor league baseball is the ultimate like setting for a sports show. If you ask me, it's like you can totally create a fictional town and a fictional league and whatever. And also like, I mean, talk about one of the most failed ideas ever. Summer Catch, which was one of the worst movies of all time. Like things like the Cape Cod League, like what an unbelievable setting for a show. Just like the elite college baseball players go to Cape Cod every year and play in a league.
Well, Friday Night Lights was a great show.
Yeah, Friday Night Lights was a great show.
I think he was referring to Steve Rannazzisi in the league, which I didn't really watch. I watched some of, and now I want to kill myself every time I see Paul Scheer on those T-Mobile commercials.
The league was filled with people who I never need to see. So I was just like, yeah, I don't need some Paul Scheer, Steve Rannazzisi, Nick Kroll in my life. I'd argue I need less of all those people.
But there's been some other ones that I know we're definitely forgetting. I mean, Ballers, I tried, and I just, no.
Ballers is one of the worst fucking shows ever.
It's pretty bad.
Ballers was just sports entourage, as I've always said.
It was.
And it's like.
But what much worse than Entourage?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was bad. But you're right. They could really do a lot with minor league baseball. The problem is definitely licensing.
Minor league hockey, I'm sure. I haven't watched that. There's a show about the Danbury team that's supposedly amazing.
Yeah. Or a show about a 40-year-old fourth grade assistant basketball coach. He's trying to find his way with his kids who have now two are in COVID protocol and can't play. And he's got a big tournament tonight. Two of his good players are out. They're going to be out Saturday for the regular season conference game.
Oh, here we go. We're like 2 weeks away from you being an anti-vax COVID hoaxer because you can't get your squad on the field. You used to be like, I'm just saying. I mean, CDC's 5 days for adults. Like, kids, really? Like, how fast are they going to spread it? Let's get these kids back in the game.
Well, I don't trust anyone at this point, but that's neither here nor there. I did make the joke the other day. I was like, what if we're all just getting a placebo? What if we're getting water? No one said that. You hear the wild like chip. I go, what if we were all just getting water? What if it was just a giant joke?
What's the end game there?
There is
not
none.
Charging us for it.
There is none. Well, the end game would be It would be a big pharma if I was going to be serious with this idea. This is me just fucking around. You know what I'm saying? They're like, no one says this wild conspiracy. What if the end game was just like, man, you guys are all idiots. We got the whole world to believe it. But hey, man, it happens. You know, it happens to the NFL. It happens to fourth grade basketball. You got to deal with the kids you have on the team.
It happens in stand-up comedy. Listen, last weekend, my mom was aggressive with me. She was like, I demand you get boosted. You get your booster while you're home. I just kind of didn't want to do it because I was just lazy and I didn't want to go. She demanded it. She demanded it. I got boosted. Eddie F didn't get boosted. COVID protocols. I had to step up from the backup role. I was in the quarterback room just chilling. Suddenly I'm thwarted in, thrusted into the starting role.
Hey, it happens. We're about to get to that with the NFL. Week 18. By the way, hotline 310-359-8365. If you have a call, drop it. Joe, we are here. There was some discussion on Reddit that we couldn't do the way we normally do with the picks in the last week. You said, look, we've always done it this way.
I'm for a revamping of it entirely, but not in like an approach to week 18, not in the run up to week 18. I am for, let me just say this, since I saw somebody throw it out there, I am 100% for, us putting on sending emails to each other right before the show starts next year. You'll have my picks. I'll have your picks. We get on in the pre-show and we just go 1, 2, 3, send every week or something like that. I'm totally fine with that. It takes away the strategy of like, oh, you pick this, I pick this, or you have to go first, or I have to go first. I'm totally fine with that, but we've never done that before. To do that in week 18, it's crazy to me to in the past in doing this. It's like we've always strategized, and it's like you're up, I think, what, 4 games?
4, yeah. So
let's say we just had made our picks, and then we just didn't have 4 different picks. Like the season's just over. Yeah. Not this year. I'm totally down for doing that in the future, though. I think that is actually a way more legitimate way to do it. But
and I understand the argument could be made that you would automatically pick every opposite pick of me, and then I would do this. I would automatically pick the same picks as you to just.
Sure. I mean, okay. I'm not going to do that for the sake of doing it because it just might cost me more games.
Yeah, and the same for me. I'm not going to do that the same. We'll look at the games, and I have obviously this is a tough week to pick because we still don't know who is and who isn't going to play. And you have 2 games on Saturday, which then are going to have a domino effect on whether certain players participate on Sunday.
And but I'm for sure going to pick games different from Andy where I'm on the fence about who to pick and if he goes first.
Sure.
But also I feel like always throughout the year, I'm honest. And when it comes to picking these games for the sake of making money and with the spread or whatever, I always tell you guys, I feel like the games I'm going to bet essentially too.
Yeah. So I have the COVID list in front of me because obviously that's filling up as we know too. So guys can't play, but we are here week 18. We do have 2 Saturday games. First one is Chiefs Broncos. Most of these games matter for seeding or just they're trying to rest guys. This spread continues to move in the Broncos' favor. I'm sorry, in the Chiefs' favor. The Chiefs are 11.5-point favorites.
Wow.
It's a big spread. I'm going to look real quick. Denver. Now their kicker just went on. To me, that is a big one. Their kicker just went on COVID. So I don't know if he'll be ready. That was January 3rd. Actually, he could maybe be ready. Let me see what we're looking at with Kansas City. Seems like they're mostly pretty good to play. They have nobody on the COVID list. Okay, so it's 11.5, Joe. It's a big spread. It's in Denver. I'll since you're behind, I'll give you the option. Do you want me to go first? Or
I'll let you go first on this game, and then we'll go and we'll start from there.
Okay. So 11.5 is big. I don't care. because I think the Chiefs are going to come out firing after a tough loss. I don't even know who's playing quarterback for Denver. I don't really care. I know it's a tough place to play. Denver, I don't know what they have to play for with Fangio, and he wants another shot, and he's kind of a coach. I'm going to ride the Chiefs to bounce back and win big.
I think the line moving to 11.5. I mean, it was a pretty big line to start. I think moving up to 11.5 gives me an opportunity here to go to pick a team that I don't believe in and I don't like. But 11.5, I mean, you would think in a week 18 game where the Chiefs have something to play for and the Broncos have an opportunity, spoiler, they're going to get up for it. I'll take the Broncos.
All right.
So my strategy so far is to let Andy go first, let him take the Chiefs, play the opposite.
Okay, well,
full disclosure.
You're going to have to go first now. The other Sunday or Saturday night game, Cowboys at Eagles. I don't know who the Eagles are playing. They are locked into a 6 or 7 seed. The Eagles are 5-point underdogs at home.
5 points.
They got a lot of people on the COVID list. A lot of people.
Wow. I thought this was higher. All right. I'm going to go with the Eagles. The two super erratic teams. I just think that there's talk of what's his name from the Cowboys not playing, correct? I don't know if it's COVID or injury. No, the fucking probably defensive player of the year who I'm totally.
Yeah, Micah Parsons is on COVID list. To me, that's a huge.
Okay.
He went on it yesterday, so he's not playing.
I'm gonna go with the Eagles at home. I don't love the Eagles at home. I think the Eagles are trash, but I also think the Cowboys, these two teams so inconsistent. I just don't see. I'm gonna play it as a close game.
Yeah, this is a tough one. I in my head I was like, "What? This is too big of a spread." It's in division.
I actually think it's not big enough. It started higher. I can't believe it's come down to 5. I was kind of loving it at 7.
So you're going to take the Eagles. I don't like Micah Parsons not playing. He's so good. He is a wrecker. Like, he is that good of a defensive player. It's funny you said defensive player of the year. You didn't say rookie defensive player of the year.
No, I think he's the defensive player of the year.
Over TJ Watt.
Yeah, I think so.
Over Aaron Donald.
Yeah, I think so.
Interesting.
And rookie and defensive rookie of the year.
I cannot take the Cowboys in this. I just can't. Sorry. Like, that's just one of those. It's in Philly. I just can't. I'm not going to be shocked if they kill him.
Mania. It's Gardner Minshew, by the way.
I do like Minshew Mania, but I'm sticking with the Eagles. All right. Packers at the Lions. Oh, we're starting to get into some fun games where they are sitting the starters. The Packers are sitting Aaron Rodgers. The Packers are still 3.5-point favorites with Jordan Love, Joe. Ooh. I'm up first. Well, that 0.5 point is killing me. That 0.5 point is a tough one. Let me just pop over to the COVID list real quick as we do this. All right. Looks like most guys are pretty good to go on the Packers. Detroit doesn't really matter. It's Detroit. All right. Penny Sewell is on the COVID list. That's the only major name. Okay. I'm going to go with the Packers to win and cover. I hate doing this, but I'm going to do it.
I actually think this is, to be totally honest with everybody out there, I think this is like a bettable game. I'd like the Packers to win and cover. I think this is your Matt Flynn, Jordan Love game. I think this is where he shows out. I think the Packers and their backups are better than the Lions.
All right. There you have it. Next up, we're on a Sunday, another meaningless game. Bears at Vikings. Vikings are 5.5-point favorites.
Jesus, why are these lines moving so much in the last couple of days?
They're probably going to move more.
I like the Vikings with absolutely nothing to play for. That's where they thrive. Spread's gone up to a point where I don't really love it, but I'm going to ride a Kirk Cousins. You like that? And everybody going, we actually don't care at all about that because both your seasons are over. He's like, but you like that? You like that? I predict a huge Kirk Cousins game. This is Kirk Cousins 300-yard game.
I don't know if this matters to you. Justin Fields was just placed on the COVID list.
Well, I'm taking the Vikings either way. So,
okay. Although I don't think that hurts them. Chicago's 2-8 in games that Justin Fields has started. I think you're right. I like what you're saying. I was thinking that this is a meaningless game. The Bears are coming off 2 wins in a row. 3 in a row. No, I don't see it. I'm going to go with the Vikings as well. Okay. Next up, Indy at Jags. 15.5. That, as I look, I'm going to check the COVID list real quick. That's a huge spread. Now, the Jags have a ton of COVID guys. A ton. The Indy has none. I don't care. I'm taking the Jags to cover that because they can lose by 2 touchdowns and still cover the spread.
Yeah, I think a backdoor cover is very much in play here. I think that the Colts win this game, and I think they win it big. I fear the backdoor cover, but at this point, I just have to go against my fears. I got to take the Colts. If you're going to go in ball control mode, I gotta go.
I'm not going in ball control mode.
I gotta take the Colts.
I'm not going in ball control mode.
I gotta take the Colts to win and cover. I have to.
We got another big one. Titans, they can secure the number 1 seed, get that week off, give Derrick Henry more time to get healthy. Titans are 10-point favorites at the Texans.
I'm going with the Titans to win this game and to cover. A lot of people, if you dive into this game, fear the way that the Titans have played against the Texans. Just historically, like the Titans tend to play their closer games in division. I think that the Titans need this for the 1 seed. I think that the Titans need to show that even in the pre-Derrick Henry return, that they're legit. I like the Titans in a 2-touchdown victory over the Texans, who play them awfully tough regularly.
Oh, I see what you're doing there.
I'm just.
Don't worry, I'm already leaning. I'm leaning towards Houston right here. Don't know if I'm going to do it. I'm leaning towards Houston. Tennessee is bad to watch. They've been in so many games, which makes me think, oh, they're going to just finally. Although they killed Miami last week. I stand corrected. Fuck it. It's the last week. Let's go with Houston Texans. Let's get a different pick in again. All right. The Washington football team. The Washington emails, as I like to call them, are at home and they're 7-point favorites against you Giants. Who's quarterback for the Giants this week?
Jake Fromm, I assume. Mike Glennon's out for the year. They have a backup in somebody, but Jake Fromm will be quarterbacking. It's in Washington.
Yeah. Washington's 7-point favorites. I'm up first. It's a big spread. It's a real big spread. But you guys have looked absolutely terrible. But final week, I feel like anything is possible. Do you guys just lay a complete egg again? Or do you give them a game? My heart is telling me the Giants give them a game. I don't have anything to back it up or any reasons, but I'm going to say Giants cover.
Thank God. I'll take the Washington football team to beat the shit out of the offensively disgusting New York football Giants. I mean, Jake Fromm, I got to say, this Giants team, I know everybody fucking wants to hate on this Giants team and how Joe Judge handled it. And honestly, it's almost proof goes back to like how important a quarterback is in this league. I mean, not that they were this explosive offensive team with Daniel Jones, but they beat multiple playoff teams. I think they beat 3 already locked in playoff teams of their 4 wins with Daniel Jones. And just the recklessness of the New York Giants to have Mike Glennon as a backup is disgusting. But with Glennon and Fromm, they essentially have no offense. I just think I think that they could lose this game and not cover if they lose 13-3.
Yeah, I'll probably regret this game. I forget. It's like I almost forgot how awful, but I'll stick with it. Okay, how awful you guys looked last week. Steelers at Ravens. This is a confusing spread. The Ravens are 6-point favorites.
Yeah, it is a confusing spread. I didn't understand it when I saw it originally. What am I missing?
I just looked at the COVID list. It's no major. Joe Hayden is the only one of the Steelers.
It sounds like we're both going with the Steelers.
Yeah, I just come on. I mean, what are we doing here? Like,
I didn't understand it when I saw it. I mean, the Ravens haven't looked that good. The Steelers haven't looked that good, but also like 6.
And the Steelers have a crazy outside shot of a lot of things happening to making the playoffs. If they win and they finish 9-7-1, they have an outside shot. All right, we're both going Steelers. The Bengals, who are sitting Burrow because his knee has been shredded again. It's amazing. You know, like we wait until it happens. Burrow's knee is shredded. He's not playing again the rest of the year. Isn't that what I heard? Did I hear that correctly?
I mean, honestly, that's just wrong.
No, it's not. He's got a sore knee, which you claim is nothing. I disagree. I think he is taking a beating this year. So he's sitting, which is fine. No Joe Mixon. No Joe Burrow. So we got the backup. We got Brandon Allen starting for the Bengals against the backup for the Browns, which I think helps them. Case Keenum.
And what's the spread on this game?
6 points. The Bengals are missing.
Wait, the Bengals, the Browns are giving 6?
Yeah, at home.
Browns are 6 points favorites. Wow. Okay.
So I'm up.
Yeah.
That's too big for me, dude. I know it's the Bengals backups and they're missing a lot of guys. It's a division game, man. It's a rivalry game. 6 is a lot. So you have backups on a lot of teams. Both teams are hurt. Both teams. 6 is too much. I'm taking the Bengals.
I really would have liked to play this strategy with a smaller spread. Is Case Keenum starting for the Browns?
Yes.
All right. Then I'm going to go with the Browns. I don't love it at 6. I would have really preferred it a little bit smaller. But honestly, I think Case Keenum makes them better than Baker Mayfield does. And honestly, the idea of Baker Mayfield going to get surgery this week, I understand him not playing this week, but this whole thing, like, talk about a whole, like, why did we even bother? Why'd you even do it? You need surgery immediately. Why did you play last week?
I know. I agree.
Case Keenum, better than Baker Mayfield. Case Keenum, better than Kirk Cousins. I'm riding the Keenum train.
Dude, I'm going to lose a point. I'm betting on the Bengals backups. It's just going to be just my karma.
You love the Bengals.
I do not love
You
the
love
Bengals.
this Bengals team.
You've
You've been riding this Bengals team the last, like, 4 weeks.
And I've been right.
Yeah,
no, but that's not true. I bet I went against, again, I went against them against the Chargers and the Niners. That's back-to-back December games. I went for them. I'm actually 4 for 4 this month. I went Ravens. I was for them. Chiefs. I was for them. So I'm 4 in a row. My picks against the Bengals. 2 for 2 against. We'll see this week. This is kind of tough because, again, it's backups. Okay, another big spread, which I'm confused on, but I guess I'm tipping my hand by saying that. The Patriots are 6.5-point favorites in Miami. So you're up first.
Yeah, it seems big, especially with the historic struggles of New England in Miami.
Right?
That was the Tom Brady
Patriots
historically.
Here we go.
Now. I'm sort of on the fence on this game. I'm going to go with the Pats. I mean, yeah, you tip your hand too much.
It's fine. I'm going with the Dolphins. I like that pick.
I like it too. That'll be the undoing for me. I'll lose by 1 point because I went Patriots in Miami. Historic, they're going out and partying. For some reason, Bill Belichick, ultimate coach, can't stop his guys from partying in Miami. That'll be it. That's the one. I'm just gonna have to hope for a Tua to play like Tua.
Dude,
Tua
you can pick the Dolphins if you want.
No, I can't. I need to strategize. And honestly, I'm on the fence. I'm not picking any game where I'm like, I think I'm fucking wrong. I'm not picking any game where I think I'm wrong. I'm a little bit on the fence on that.
Well, that's our 6th different pick, I think, already.
Yeah.
It's good. So I have the Dolphins. You have the Patriots. I'm up first next. The Jets, the Bills, 16.5. The Bills did not cover last week with a big spread. The question is, do they cover this week with the big spread? I'm going to say no again. It's just such a big spread.
I like the Jets in this game. I think I might stick with it. There is a strategy that I've been playing gambling wise that has been working out to like the tune of like 78%, but picking teams that didn't cover last week against teams that did cover last week is a strategy. It's just so big.
I mean, it's so big. That's why I'm going Jets.
It's in Buffalo.
It's in New York.
Yeah, I'm going to.
I'm sorry. I stand corrected. It is in Buffalo.
It is in New York.
It's in Buffalo.
It's in Buffalo, New York. It's not New Jersey.
That's what I meant. Yeah.
I'll go with the Jets as well.
All right. Finally, we have another pick together. All right. Carolina at Tampa Bay. The Antonio Brown-less Bucks. You're up first. They're 8-point favorites.
I mean, this is stupid to me. I'm taking the Bucks. I'm putting money on this game.
Yeah, I agree.
Why are the Panthers an 8? Why are the Panthers? How are the Jets a 17-point dog and the Panthers are 8 to the Bucks?
Well, one was at home, but yeah.
Okay.
Actually, that makes it worse. Yeah, I agree. I think the Bucks win and cover. All right, I'm up first now. Saints at Falcons. Saints are 4-point favorites. God, here we are. These teams. It's Jameis 1 of 1 versus.
Jameis isn't playing.
I know. Dude. Oh, I hate this game. It's a tough one. With that being said, I'm going to go Falcons.
Woo! I mean, this was going to be a tough one for me because if you go Saints, then I just in the ultimate fuck myself, like get undone by the Falcons who've been undoing me for 5 years on this show. But this way, with you going with the Falcons, I can go with the Saints. I think the Saints defense is going to, play well against a shitty Falcons offense, but I do not love this pick. This couldn't be more of a stay away game for me gambling wise, because these teams hate each other. They always play each other tough. It's an opportunity for Atlanta to spoil, this for New Orleans. I like the pick on your side, but I also love that you gave me an opportunity not to have to pick the Falcons. So I'll take the Saints.
All right. Seahawks at Cardinals. Cards are 6.5-point favorites.
This is a tough game because I feel like this is the same thing. Like Seahawks looking good, opportunity to play spoiler a little bit, ruin the chances of an NFC West still.
Cardinals have struggled at home too.
Yeah, but I also like how Arizona looked last week. Where is this game?
It's in Arizona.
Yeah, I'll take Arizona to win and cover.
All right, I'm going to take Seattle. I told you, I'm picking who I want to pick. I'm not like.
Yeah, I am for the most part. I think, like probably would have been on that. Maybe the Jags Colts game is a coin toss for me. So I go opposite, and then you just saved me from having to pick the Falcons, which is, I really appreciate.
8 different picks, I believe. Wow. All right. Niners at Rams. This should be a good game. Rams are 4-point favorites. The Niners have to win.
Yeah.
So this is a big game. With that being said, man, I just am I up first?
Yes.
Okay, so my thoughts about this game. Stafford has struggled. You also got a young who's playing? Trey Lance?
Yeah, probably.
Against
Garoppolo's
this
cleared, I think, but
against this Rams D that's pretty legit. Fuck it. God damn it. I'm going to ride. Dude, I can't believe I do not. Why is part of me saying to ride with San Francisco? The other part of me is saying, do not do that, Andy. That would be reckless. Okay. Final decision. And I am going to go with the Rams.
I'm going to go with the Rams as well. I would have loved for you to go to San Francisco and just to be undone by a Odell Beckham touchdown. I know you fear him, and that's why you went with the Rams. There's no going back now. Fear him. There's no going back now. So I know we both just fear / love Odell Beckham. I think it's the entire reason for both of our Rams picks.
Yes, fear him.
God, could you just imagine? I need to get
those 42 yards a game.
I need to reach out to my Odell connection and just let him. I might have to let him know if you had done it for this game, maybe I'll have to save it for a playoff game. I might have to tell through my Odell connection that I'm just stockpiling Jersey Mike's gift cards on his behalf. Maybe he could get like a Jersey Mike's gift card swiping as his next celebration.
Hey, they do
Mike's way. Maybe we get a swipe.
Ooh, Mike's way. I like it.
Maybe he's putting a little that salt, pepper, oregano mix on, swiping his gift card.
I'm actually not a big Mike's. I'm not a Mike's way guy. Not a Mike's way. It's too much stuff going on there. All right. The final pick. The Los Angeles Chargers. My season ticket holding team are 3-point favorites at the Raiders. You're up first. I'll be real curious what you have to say about this one.
This is a really, really tough game for me. The Raiders have looked really good. And you know I'm a Raiders fan. And that makes me want to bet the Chargers.
Sure.
Which is what are giving 3?
Yeah.
I think it's going to be right in there.
I agree.
The thing that makes me want to bet the Raiders is the Chargers already beat them once this year. It's tough between these two teams fighting for it.
Playoffs on the line.
Playoffs essentially on the line, unless Jacksonville can beat Indianapolis, in which case we have a 2-team 60-minute kneel down. I'm going with your Los Angeles Chargers.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm also going with. There was no doubt in my mind all week that Justin Herbert is going to show up.
Tons of doubt in my mind. I do not love this pick. Specifically, the beating them twice.
Well, the first game,
the Chargers just look so erratic. Some games they score so many fucking points. Some games they can't score at all.
I know. Well, look at it this way. The first game was basically a road game for the Chargers anyway. I don't know if that matters, but it's like the 40-minute flight.
Can you imagine if I actually pick up points on the week and then get undone by the Raiders?
Well, we're both going to go with the Chargers. And that would create a possibility of San Diego. God, I'm doing it. The Los Angeles Chargers coming maybe back to Cincinnati.
Oh, that'd be great, huh? Would you go to that game in Chargers gear?
Probably. I don't know.
Randy Ruther's already looking at airfare to come back to Cincinnati for the playoff game. I don't know if you know. I don't know if you saw this, but Randy Ruther is like, do I fly back for the game or do I save my money and go to the Bengals at SoFi Super Bowl game? That's
interesting. You want to hear a fun fact? I think I looked it up. Season ticket holders of the home team get in that.
Wow.
So like how they do it each team playing is allotted a percentage, and I think season ticket holders. So I guess it would be Rams, and obviously there's not enough, but 5% goes to like when they divvy up the 100%, how they initially do it, and then or whatever in the open market. So yeah, I would have access because I have early access to any events at SoFi. As long as
obviously, Andy, if you have an opportunity to buy tickets, you should buy them
for the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
we'll see.
I would just like to say on the show right now that I can shoulder some of the financial responsibility of that, because I think the idea of turning around and selling it is a no-brainer.
Yeah, I'll look into it. Those are the picks. How many different picks do we have? 9 or 10?
I don't know. Putting out the Mata bat signal. We need this, and we need to figure it out immediately.
There's game Saturday. A lot on the line here.
I like most of my picks, to be totally honest with you. I don't love the Saints. I don't love the Colts. I don't love the Patriots. And I don't love the Chargers. But I picked the Chargers first, and I picked the Patriots first. So we'll see. You can't blow a huge lead unless you have a huge lead to blow. It's just really about you. If you pick 10 games this week, you win. You know what I mean? My only opportunity to win this week is for you to pick 5 games or less, essentially.
If I blew a 12-point lead, epic. But final week with them benching starters and COVID and everything else, anything is possible. COVID. All right. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at The Dirty Sports. Drop a podcast review on Apple. If you leave your Twitter and Instagram handle, I'll send you koozies. If you send a screenshot via Spotify, I will also send you koozies. Went to the post office. I picked up a bunch of postage, and I will be sending all the people I contacted in the last few months. My apologies on that. Out tomorrow.
Love it. At Fix Your Life on Twitter, at Joe Prano on all other social media. Got shows coming up. I will not be up in the Bay, like I said, but go to joeprano.com/shows. Constantly updating some things. Might be coming to the Midwest in February. I'll let you know when those are official. And might be coming north of the border sometime soon. I'll let you know when that's official. But just follow me on all social media and you won't miss these things.
All right. That is our show today. As always, thanks for the support. You guys have a great final NFL weekend.